Hello. Hi everyone. Good morning. Welcome back to the Karate Framework tutorial, guys. So, I'm getting a couple of queries from most of the people asking me to explain the latest configuration on this Karate Framework, as few of the people are facing some issues with this configuration part. That's the reason I'm creating this particular video to explain you more about this configuration part. We have already created certain videos on a karate configuration part precisely in the year of 2023, but these days few people are requesting from a questionnaire column basically to address a couple of points related to this configuration. That's the reason I'm creating this video to discuss majorly on a configuration as a first part, and in the next video how exactly I can configure my Eclipse editor also would be covered as part of this lecture itself. As you all know that in order to work on this karate framework, these are the three most important things that you need to set up in your machine. The first one is a Java. Okay, you need to download and install Java to your machine. Followed by you need to install Eclipse Editor, where I'm using this Eclipse Editor to write down my karate framework code basically, and as well as a Maven, of course. Moving further, whenever you want to trigger your code, okay, from the command prompt, I need a Maven. And a Postman is basically before putting the request into the karate framework. If at all I want to cross check whether I was able to hit the endpoint properly or not, initially I will be cross checking in a Postman. So let's get started with the Java installation. So in order to start with the Java, you can search for JDK free download. So guys, initially whenever I was recording this particular videos, right, the older versions of the videos that I have covered, it was on a Java 1.8 version. Later we covered with a Java 11 version. Now go with the JDK 17. Depending on your operating system, download this respective Java in your machine. As of now, I'm using a Mac machine where I'm gonna download this DMG file basically. Okay, I'm gonna download this DMG file to my machine, whichever the Mac Java compatible version is there. I'm just downloading this DMG file. If at all you are using a Windows operating system, depending on your OS version, right, download the Java exe file. And another thing is, consider that a few people may ask me a question: Surendra, I was already working on a Selenium, or I'm already working on a mobile automation. Do I need to download this setup? Yes, you all know you have already configured Java and then editor particularly in your machine. You no need to re-download this stuff again. Whichever the versions that you have already downloaded with a Java and an Eclipse editor, proceed with those versions. Okay, with which I can say that if you have already working on Selenium, guys, basically you no need to download the Java, you no need to download the Eclipse editor. Maybe you might have installed a Maven in your machine. If you haven't installed a Postman, just download a Postman, a desktop software to your machine, or create an account in a postman.com, an official website where to validate those requests. That's it. If you are already working on Selenium, don't download a Java and Eclipse editor again. If you are a completely new, then download a Java and Eclipse editor. So once after you are done with the downloads, on a Mac, I'm downloading the DMG file. Double tap on that DMG file and proceed with the installation part. And if at all you are working on a Windows, once after you downloaded the exe file, double tap on that exe file and proceed with the installations. Just like a regular installation of any other software, go with that particular installation. For suppose, if at all, while downloading the software and while configuring this one, if you are encountering issues, feel free to drop me an email. Happy to help you out. Okay, perfect. I'm done with this particular the Java. Now let's go with this Eclipse editor. So Eclipse editor free download. I'm just navigating to this official website. Download the exe file. So whenever I download it, I am on a Mac, so hence it's gonna download the compatibility related to the Mac, or whenever you are working on, it's gonna download the compatibility related to your Windows machine. It's up to you. Just download wherever or whichever the machine that you are connecting. Just download this particular Eclipse exe files also. Okay, download this Eclipse exe files also. Okay, perfect. Once after you are done with the Eclipse installation or a downloading part, double tap on that exe file, finish the installation steps of that particular Eclipse editor. Okay, if at all you are working on a Windows machine, you will be downloading an exe file. If at all you are working on a Mac machine, you will be downloading a .dmg file. Double tap on that particular file and complete your installation. And once you are done with your Eclipse Editor installation, you do see an Eclipse icon on your desktop, and simply double tap on that Eclipse IDE on your desktop and simply launch it. At the very first time, whenever you are launching your Eclipse Editor, it will ask you to select the workspace where exactly you want to save your code. So go with this default location and click on a launch button. As and when you clicked on this particular launch button, your editor is gonna load. Okay, so far what we have done is I have shown you how to download Java, and I have shown you how to download this particular Eclipse editor also. And once you are done with this particular thing, the next thing is a Maven. So whenever you are working on your machines, right, so directly search for Maven downloads. Okay, download this particular Maven and simply download this particular zip file. Okay, binary zip file. Download this particular binary zip file. If at all you are working on a Windows machine, the additional step that you guys need to do on a Windows machine is you need to update your environmental variables. Okay, you need to update your environmental variables basically with a Java location. You need to update your environmental variables with Java location, and of course this Maven location also. You need to update your environmental variables with the Java and as well as a Maven location. So whenever you are working on our Mac, basically you need to update the bash profiles. Okay, we need to update the bash profiles in this particular Mac. Okay, good enough. So how I'm gonna update this particular Mac bash profiles means I will be connecting from a Windows machine in a while, and then I will show you how to update the environmental variables. But for now I'm showing you this particular Mac bash profile. So I just navigated to my user and I am pressing Control Shift dot, which will show all the hidden files from where you have a bash profile. Right click on it and open with a text editor. As and when you open with a text editor, see here export Maven home, M2 home, and as well as a Maven home. As and when you downloaded that particular binary zip file, unzip it, and whichever the path is there, get that particular path and put it here as a export. And even along with that, you need to update your Java home here. Okay, you need to update your Java home in the bash profile. Once after you are done with the update, just save it. And additionally, along with the bash profile, while working on a Mac, try to upload this particular jet profile too. Ideally, whichever the content that you have in a bash profile, simply copy paste it in a jet profile. So this is the way how exactly you can update this particular configuration part. Okay, we just downloaded Java, we just downloaded the Eclipse editor, and then we have updated the Mac bash profiles. I'll show you how can we do this particular Windows environmental variables moving further, not at this particular point. If you see, basically the next one is Java is done, Eclipse is done, Maven configuration is also done. The next one is a Postman. Ideally, if you wanna work on a Postman in your local, right, download it. If you don't want to work on your local, directly create an account in a Postman, go with a sign up, and then directly you do have an access to this particular Postman. So I'm trying to sign in into my Postman directly here. Okay, directly I just created an account on my browser and I'm just signing it. Moving ahead, whenever I want to validate any particular request, right, I no need to launch my Postman directly. I can use a postman.com where I can handle my API verification from this particular place, guys. Okay, so you can go with a new request and you can validate your request from here rather than going it with respect to this one, right, which is from a desktop software. I prefer going it from a Postman official website. That's it. Done up to this particular point, guys. So far, we are done with all these basic configuration. The next thing that it is pending is we need to configure this Karate framework in the Eclipse editor. So let us go ahead and have a look into how exactly I can create a karate framework code base within my Eclipse editor. Let's have a look into that. Okay, and in order to configure this particular karate, we have two different options. The first one is I can create a normal Maven project and directly I can specify the dependencies that I have listed down here. This is the first option. And the second option is even I do have an option to directly create this a karate artifact. So what I'm doing right now is go to file, new, and I'm going with a Maven based project. Okay, I'm just going with a Maven based project. Leave it is and go to the next screen. So here I was just filtering with the karate. Okay, I was just filtering with this particular karate. So let's wait here. So the karate, com.inint.karate. So where I was just choosing the latest version, click on it and the group ID and the artifact ID is karate latest code base. Okay, karate latest code base. This is the artifact ID and a group ID that I have a given for it, and I clicked on this particular finish button. So it will take a few minutes to create this karate project in my editor. So on the left hand panel, if you see, basically karate latest code base got created, and if I expanded it, basically it has a pom.xml, and by default my Java version is a Java 11, which is good enough itself. Okay, which is good enough itself. Let me refresh my project once. Okay, let me refresh my project once, and if I expand this src test Java, you have an examples, you have an example.user, you have a karate configuration.js file. Basically this karate configuration, of course we have a couple of videos on this configuration file, how exactly we can tweak the environments and all those things would be done using this karate configuration. And if you see, basically these examples has a feature file. Okay, a sample example on a feature file and a sample example on this particular runner class also. So what I'm gonna do right now is I can use this files or these packages, even I can delete that information also. I don't want to use this one. I just want to go with my own packages. So I'm creating my own package com.api automation. Okay, I'm just going with my API automation. Within this particular package itself, I'm going to create my runner class. Within this particular package itself, I'm going to create my feature files. So a small example on this particular one we will see in the next lecture. But right now we have seen how exactly you can download the Java, how exactly you can download the Eclipse, Maven, Postman, and then how can we create a Maven based project and directly I can get my karate. And before that, if you have a look into the pom.xml file, it has all the karate specific dependencies that were added to this particular project, guys. Okay, perfectly all right. See you again in the next session where I will be creating a small example with this configuration. Okay, thank you.